You're welcome back to Sustained Overruled. I'm sorry. I had to push the live back a little bit because I was tending to my wifey duties, okay? So I had to push it back just a little bit. So 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Hope you guys had a fantastic day. I was off all day, so I had a good day. I had a good day, no complaints. My daughter and I went I'm gonna move because she's watching some stuff. I don't want copyrighted, you know, issues. I don't want copyright issues on my video. So my daughter and I, we went to the movies today and we watched Wicked. My kid has ADHD, so I don't know how or why she chose to watch a movie that's almost 3 hours long, but it was long. Sheesh, I had a hard time just sitting. Yeah, but we made it. We made it. Not my type of movie. I'm not a movie person. Okay, I'm not a movie person. I prefer documentaries. Um, yeah, so it was a musical. She liked it because they had pink in the movie, and pink is a favorite color. So that sums that sums it up. All right. So we are still busy with who's this? So we have Terrence Bradley. I believe we're done. We're done with Fani. As far as Nathan Wade, we really did not get into, but we probably have to get into Nathan Wade just because I'm really avoiding Terrence Bradley because I'm so upset with him. I'm upset with him. And then, real thing, if you are in here, please let me know. We can get started with what is this? We can get started with the actual with a decision. We can go over that. But in the meantime, let's switch over. Let me share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. And shout out to Jerome. Hope you made it safely to your destination. All right. So let's get into Terrence Bradley, and then we're going to move to Nathan Wade a little bit. And once the real thing is in here, then we can get started with the decision itself.
I wanted you to be accurate as far as
All right.
the accuracy of our message or your filing.
Okay, so that was your intro.
I don't know why I
Anything
keep
in
doing
there
that.
originally, and I said that it needed to be accurate. I needed to be accurate as far as that I had received 74,000.
Right,
That's correct.
because you did not want anyone knowing that you had talked to me.
I would object this for relevance.
Bias. Overruled.
I wanted you to be accurate as far
Okay,
as
roll call,
the
roll
accuracy
call.
of our message.
Real thing is in
your
here.
filing.
Hey, real thing. Brooklyn is in here. Hey, Brooklyn.
Okay, so that was your interest.
So we're gonna get into the decision a little bit. Let's just, let's settle in. Let's settle in, and then we'll get into the decision.
Was an inaccuracy in the file.
I didn't reach out to you and say, send me a copy of your motion.
Right.
I didn't reach out to you to say that I'm going to be in your motion.
Right.
All right.
I asked you to review it for accuracy.
For accuracy. And I just stated that it was inaccurate.
And the inaccuracy that you pointed out was the thing about your salary or how much you had made.
Is that
was
the
inaccuracy
inaccuracy?
that I saw that jumped out was the fact that I saw that I was left out when you had put
Okay.
the firm, the money wise. I did not.
And then I'll put up the link in
When I
case
responded
wants
to
come
that,
up
it
there.
was for that specific reason.
Okay. And I agreed I would put that back in, that section back in, and I did.
Correct.
And then Luigi Mangione was arraigned today. So if you guys want to, get into those proceedings, we certainly can do that.
I did put it back in and I sent it to you again.
I don't recall getting a second email from you now.
But you were happy that I put it back in, or that I agreed to put it back in.
And object this to relevance.
Yeah, we need to get to more material aspects.
Yes, Judge, I'm moving along, I promise.
She said you promised.
So you did ask me to put that back in.
I have so many open tabs. You
Well,
guys
Answer
won't.
relevance.
I have a
Well, you
lot of
didn't answer that
open
last
tabs.
question, so overruled.
You did, can you confirm you
Okay,
did?
so Brooklyn wants us to lounge a little bit before we Is that before getting into the decision, or were you referring to Mangione?
They asked me to put that back in for it to be accurate.
Yes, that's correct. I said that, yes.
And then I asked you if everything was accurate and you said, looks good. Correct?
I recall
Can you
you
move
asking
on?
that, but the looks good was applying to the accuracy of the 74,000. That's it.
So when you reviewed the motion and you specifically pointed out that one thing that you found inaccurate, you didn't point anything else out that you found inaccurate in that motion though, correct?
No, I did not.
And that motion alleged that their relationship began when Ms. Willis was in municipal court.
If I could reread the motion, but I don't recall, but if that's what it says. But I did my saying that it looks good was when you put back in the 74,000 into your motion.
Okay, and that wasn't what I was asking. What I was asking is, you didn't tell me that there was anything else inaccurate in the motion though, right?
But I didn't say that anything was accurate other than the 74,000.
Now, when I told you that I had this motion that I was preparing, you asked me to send a rough draft.
No, that's incorrect.
May I approach, Judge?
You may.
Which page are you showing?
They're not page numbered, it's January 6th. Yeah, of course. I can show you just all the text.
Yeah. Yep. He's definitely backtracking.
So, we had been talking and you asked me to send you a rough draft and I told you, okay, but I didn't want it to be leaked before I filed it. Right?
That is correct.
Crazy.
That is correct.
So you're the one that asked me to send a rough draft.
Yes, that's
And then
correct.
Brooklyn, obviously you are in the city. I think there has been 2 incidents on the, what is this? On the subway recently. A woman that, was engulfed in flames. Okay, so Brooklyn, I see you're trying to come up here. I think you're here actually. Brooklyn, can you hear me? I think Brooklyn's up here. All right, we'll just wait for his audio to connect.
Yes, that's correct.
And that was at 10:08 on Saturday, January 6th. And then you got an email from me with that rough draft at 10:25 that same day, correct?
Yes.
If you need to look at it.
If it says 10:25, then I know you sent me an email.
While he's looking at it, I'm going to object this to Aston. We've been through the fact that he sent him a copy of the motion, whether he specifically said rough draft or not, and then asked about the accuracy. He's explained his answer, and I object to Aston also.
Understood, Mr. Vine. We're getting there. Overruled for now.
And then I responded when we were talking about that footnote that we were just talking about. I said I took it out, but I can add it back. And you said yes, add it back. You remember that?
I answered that, yes.
And then I said anything else, anything that isn't accurate, and you responded looks good. You recall that?
Let me see the,
Of course. And there, I don't know where the exhibits are. They were admitted. That refresh your memory?
it says looks good, but as I stated before, I was responding to you putting me back into the motion for receiving $74,000 in a contract.
But that's not what this says. This
So
says,
Real Thing says that Mr. Bradley decided to abandon the plan, but forgot to notify. He forgot to notify his co-conspirators before taking the witness stand to testify. Yeah, I don't think Ashley was impressed with the manner in which he was acting on the stand. Yeah, she was definitely caught off guard.
you said, yes, add it back, and then I said, anything else, anything that isn't accurate, and you responded, looks good. So you weren't responding to put it back in.
Your Honor, I'm gonna object.
I
This is
know.
not his motion. He wasn't the affiant of the motion or verified the content.
Overruled, Mr. Fani.
I'm just talking about his personal knowledge, Judge.
I've said twice,
Overruled, Mr. Fani.
I've said twice that it looks accurate.
Okay, so Brooklyn says rebooting. Is that your phone, your device? Yes, that woman was burned by a Guatemalan immigrant, and you asked me last week if we take the subway. I mean, I asked you that. I don't know if it was last week. It was at the time of something Penny. Something Penny. I forgot. Last name Penny. It was during the time of his acquittal, right? Because to me, the jury's verdict, the acquittal was not surprising, considering the condition of the subway. Again, I've only been down that subway once, and I was like, I'm not going back there again because, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot going on down there. But apart from that, I believe what I saw on the news today was that there was a slashing in, I don't remember where, one of the boroughs.
Was, or I've said more than twice, was for the 74,000.
Do you remember telling me about
Hey, Laugh, thanks for joining.
Nathan and Fani coming to your office and spending time together at your office?
What the hell?
I mentioned, I do recall testifying.
Laugh, all we have been covering these past few days, we've been covering, who's this? Fani, Willis, and Nathan Wade, bumping uglies, and and how we got to the appeal court's decision. And then, Laugh is out here saying that show your support and hit the like button, baby. She's so funny. I love you.
On the 16th that she had come to our office.
And that was before she was elected as district attorney, correct?
Right. I don't know why his first name escaped, but right. Daniel Penny. And then Brooklyn says, did you see Luigi's lawyer arguing with a judge? Karen Friedman is an amazing lawyer. I saw glimpses of it, so maybe we can get in. I know I was not working today. I don't know what I've been doing. I've been parenting, though. In my defense, I've been parenting. I saw clips of her. I don't exactly know that she was arguing with, again, this is out of context because I just watched a few clips, but it did not appear that she was arguing with a judge. It seemed as though she was frustrated in what she calls the way her client was treated, and the pep walks and the like. But we can definitely get into that if you are interested. So I'm glad that you're here and laughing already. Laughs. So Brooklyn says basically she said right. So I think that we can get into it. We can get into it because I do have an opinion on that.
I recall that was when she was district attorney.
Correct. So she's frustrated with, who's this? What's his name again? Eric Adams. Because she is claiming that her client is being used as some type of political pawn. I think the argument is a stretch, but we can definitely get into it.
Because I said that there was a meeting held at my office.
And who was at that meeting?
Wait, what?
Now I can't tell you that.
Hold
I don't
on.
recall.
No.
But you know Miss Willis was at
You
that
need
meeting.
to recall. What?
There was a meeting held at my office. Because I said that there was a meeting held at my office.
And who was at that meeting?
Now I can't tell you that. I don't recall.
But you know Miss Willis was there, Mr. Wade was there.
It was at our office. Actually, Miss Willis was there, and there were other people there. Mr. Wade was not in that meeting. He was in the back. I wasn't even in that meeting.
Why did she hold it at your office then?
I have no idea.
Dumb question.
You also remember telling me about them spending time together at her law office before she took her job.
Big shout out to Allie. Shout out to Allie.
I don't recall. Do you have something to?
Well, what I'm asking is, let's back up a sec. So Ms. Willis rented a law office from the Evans firm, or Andrew Evans and another lawyer, I think Stacy Evans. You have knowledge of that, correct?
No, I'm gonna object to your saying.
If,
Well,
How does he know the information? That would be the correct question.
okay. Ms. Merchant?
I don't really know even how to respond to that. Hearsay, I'm asking if he knew that she rented
Yeah,
offices.
he may have been there. He
Right.
may have seen a business card or something at some point. I think you can answer that.
I've never
Okay, so Allie, I have not read email. I've not even read notifications for the past 2 days. Let me take a look at it. I'm gonna go to Gmail. Give me a second.
been to Miss Willis's office when she was in private practice. I've never dealt with where she rented. I didn't even know where her office was. So
Do you remember though, knowing that she rented an office
yes,
from the Evans?
yes,
You did know
yes,
that.
that is correct. Yes.
Okay. And do you remember telling me that Mr. Wade and Miss Willis would rendezvous at that office?
I'm gonna object to, again, hearsay as to how he knows that information. He said he has no personal knowledge. And
He did
just-
not say he has no personal knowledge, Judge. He hasn't even answered it.
No, he said it.
All right. So Allie, send me your number. Send me a number. It doesn't have to be your real phone number. You can go on, what is it called? Text now or whatever. You can get one of those Google numbers. So send that to me.
In general, he had no personal knowledge, so it's not been established the source of how he would know this because he said he's never been to her office.
All right. Ms. Merchant, if you, I know you're trying to impeach him by a prior inconsistent statement, but unless you can first back up and show why each statement is actually something that
Mm-hmm.
you have knowledge of, I don't know if this is going to be relevant.
And Judge, I'm not even there yet, but again, that was
We need
speaking
to get
objection,
there.
and so now I would anticipate what our response is gonna be next. I didn't ask anything that was objectionable, but these objections are coaching the witness. I asked if he had knowledge, that's it. I didn't ask, did someone say this to you? I didn't ask, what did this person tell you? I asked if he knew.
Well, no, you're asking if you have knowledge, and then you say of something specific. So,
Once I get an answer to that, if he has knowledge, then I will follow up with where that knowledge came
all
from.
right, well, let's try again.
So my question is, do you have knowledge of them meeting at that office?
Objection, foundation.
Okay, all right, overruled.
Do you have knowledge of them meeting at that office?
I have no personal knowledge if that's what you're asking.
I didn't ask that yet. I asked if you have any knowledge.
Objection, that would be hearsay.
Overruled.
Not if it came from Mr.
We
Wade,
don't know where
Judge.
it came from. So he said, how do you know, Mr. Brandon?
What do you mean? Not if? Never mind. Let her get into
How do you
it.
know?
Any knowledge that I would have received would have come from my client at the time.
Okay, so you had knowledge of this place that Miss Willis worked. What did you know about them meeting at that office?
All right, and real thing, I'm also seeing your email now regarding Fani. I thought that, I don't know, what do you guys have planned for Christmas? Because I was thinking that that's probably the perfect day to get into Fani's trial skills or direct examination skills because it's probably going to be uneventful. But then again, it's Fani, so we never know.
Objection, hearsay.
It's not hearsay, Judge.
Wouldn't be how he knows it, and then you ask the next question.
All right, he's already asked the next question.
Ellie has smoke with Abate, okay? Ellie has serious smoke with Abate.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How do you have knowledge? What knowledge did, well, you just told us. You told us Mr. Wade told you. So tell us.
I don't know. Every time that Terrence squints at the questions, kind of seems like he's actually seeing the words, like he's trying to see the question and not just hear the question.
Mr. Wade told you about Miss Willis and Mr. Wade meeting at the Evans office.
Objection, Your Honor, privilege. This clearly covers the time after December 2018 that would be covered by the privilege.
Yeah, overruled.
Yeah, no escape. There is no escape.
Do you recall the question, Mr. Grant?
I do not.
All right,
Re-ask
we'll
the
do it
question,
then.
Ms. Merchant.
What did you learn from Mr. Wade? I just clarified that's where you learned it from. About Mr. Wade and Miss Willis meeting.
All right, so we'll do it then. And then we're probably gonna start. I don't know, what time do you folks have dinner? It's just my Nanabu and I, so we don't really have much going on. We could probably start around 6, 7. And the reason for that is because I'm working the day after. I'm not happy about that. But I'm working on the 26th.
At the Evans office together.
I don't object to asked and answered. He's testified at
He
one.
hasn't
many-
answered.
all
We haven't heard an answer.
He testified at one conversation with Mr. Wade in the back of his law
Judge,
office.
No, but his answer may change, so
Tip him
overruled.
off as to how to answer the question.
I can't recall what the conversation was. I do recall knowing that he would go down to the office or had been down to the office, but I can't tell you in what capacity or when or any of that. No,
Mr. Wade told you that they had sex at the office, is that correct?
Wait, what?
I don't recall him saying
Hold
that.
on.
no.
Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? They did what in the office? No, he has amnesia, baby. Hold on. You guys know I'm a mess. What?
Knowing that he would go down to the office or had been down to the office, but I can't tell you in what capacity or when or any of that. No,
Mr. Wade told you that they had sex at the office, is that correct?
I don't recall him saying that. No,
That's crazy.
You don't recall.
no.
So it's possible he did say that.
He doesn't recall.
You just don't remember one way or another?
I do not remember him saying that.
Yeesh.
And
Now I want to look up this office. Do we have an address? I want to see, is it, a high-rise building? Is it one of those, former residential looking offices? I need to know.
do you recall that he had a garage door opener to
What?
either a house or a condo or something like that of Miss Willis's?
Probably.
I've never seen a garage door opener. I've never been to Miss Willis's house.
Those were
I've
my
never
questions.
been to, and I'm trying to explain, I've never been. So no, I do not have any personal knowledge of him having a
All right,
garage
the
door.
real thing, I have a question. So it's pretty clear that Terrence Bradley, this was retaliation for him for him being kicked out of the firm, right? But my question is, I'm trying to figure out why he changed his mind. Why did he not follow through with, because this was in essence their motion. As much as he's not really a part or was never a part of this case, in essence, this is his motion because he gave Ashley Merchant the ammunition or the facts or the gossip to file this motion. I'm just trying to figure out why he reversed course. Why did he get cold feet? Did he, I don't know. Or did he think that Merchant would not call him on the stand? I'm trying to figure that out. I cannot figure that part out just yet.
Opener.
Let me ask the question again.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
didn't ask if you have personal knowledge, like as in you saw it. Do you have any knowledge at all from Mr. Wade or any source that he had a garage door opener to access one of Miss Willis's residence?
And I'll object to any source as to hearsay.
All right, depends on the source. Overruled.
No, I don't have any knowledge.
So when you told me that, did you just make it up?
Do you have something that shows that I told you that?
Yes, We're going to go through all the texts we can, but so was that made up though?
But I'm gonna object because I
I
don't,
don't recall him having,
Ms. Riley, just a
I'm gonna
second.
object under 106 is the rule of completeness. I don't have that text message or any text messages that indicate that, Your Honor.
And I don't have, if it was a text, we had that conversation. I actually think it was when he was on speakerphone and Mr. Merchant was there, but I'm not sure. But I mean, if I'm asked to qualify exactly where that's from, I would.
Okay, so rule of completeness would be if you need to introduce other text to show the context. If you're saying you haven't seen a copy yet, then I think Ms. Merchant needs to do that before you can
And I don't
decide the
have,
next step.
and that's what I was asking him. If that was something he just remembers making up. If he doesn't, then that's fine. But
She referenced text
channel is
messages and
this
started
on?
to go into her packet of papers.
Sure.
that have text
So you don't have a
messages.
text message to that.
I would need some time to look through, and I don't remember if I have a text to that or if it was during a conversation. It was one of those.
All right, well,
And I'm-
he has now said that he has no knowledge, so on to your next question.
Did Mr. Wade tell you about the trips that he and Miss Willis took?
no,
Do you have any knowledge of the trips that he and Miss Willis took?
He just
Objection,
said,
hearsay.
yeah.
Overruled.
I mean, I don't agree with some
I do
of
now.
these rulings.
But you did not before this proceeding?
Hey, real thing, what's up?
Hey, just coming to give my speculation
Yeah.
on your question, and then I'll drop back down. So I actually thought about this a lot, back in February when this was happening. So I have two theories.
Okay.
First theory, this is like high level of introspective thinking on Terrence's behalf. Perhaps he really thought about, wait, is this really what I want to do? Because he knows what really happened. Far as that night out on the town with his employees, he knows what really happened.
Okay.
And he may have taken accountability for it, within himself to say, you know what, if this was on, if the shoe was on the other foot and he was caught up in something based on his decisions, his own behavior, like if he was looking at it like if Nathan had did that, in order to save the firm, Nathan had to do what he had to do, or she would have been in a position to sue the firm as a whole.
Right.
They settled with her to, of course, save their firm. And hey, it had to be a loss for him based on his actions. So I just think that perhaps he thought about it and said, well, I shouldn't be seeking revenge because I just taking accountability of what he did. He can say within himself, he knows what he did was wrong and they did what they had to do. It wasn't malicious on their end. It was to save their own butts and save their own business.
Yeah.
Other theory is there was some conversation that Abati, of course, shut down. A third party or a mutual friend
Okay.
contacted Terrence after the motion was filed. And there was some conversation about it was like maybe a veiled threat. I don't know. That was
Okay.
my interpretation of it. It was something like, do you really want to do this? Something like that. It was some communication from a mutual third party, a friend that they all know, contacted Terrence about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that may have influenced him to change his mind.
Okay. Okay. I mean, that's plausible. I was just trying to figure out maybe the external influence. I'd go with that because I don't think that this is the type of person to, come to his hands and take accountability for his actions.
I
So,
know.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
said, just to give him the benefit of the doubt. High
Yeah.
level
I mean,
introspective thinking.
you are the voice of reason, so I understand why you'd give him that much latitude. So, yeah, okay. I appreciate. I don't know. It's just puzzling to me because you're the one that set this whole thing in motion.
Yeah.
And now you want to backtrack.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's I think we'll never really know why he backtracked.
right. No, that's true. That's very true. Okay. All right. So let's see. Brooklyn says that he emailed me a copy of Nathan's credit card charges. What do you want me to do with this information, Brooklyn? I'll take a look at it though. Let me play this and then I'll take a look at it.
I did not know until you text that you found that in the deposition of his divorce. I mean, not deposition, but something from his divorce.
Okay. And when you responded, doesn't surprise me, they took many trips.
This is actually quite juicy. This is juicy, juicy, juicy. This is juicy. I need to figure out how I can download this and publish this without, you know, what is this? I need to figure out how to do it without leaking my email. Hold on. You said page 15. Let me go to page 15. I'm going to have to figure out. Let me download this because it's going to take, I don't know how long it's going to take me to figure this out, but let me play this video.
To Florida, Texas, California. Those are your words though, right?
I'm gonna object as to relevance. He said he did not know and he actually learned from Ms. Merchant the information.
He said he learned about certain trips from Ms. Merchant.
Okay, you can tie it down, but
Thank you.
we'll
He
see.
had no information
So Nathan's ex-wife's name is Jocelyn.
on
Jocelyn.
any trips that Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade took. That he learned it all from Ms. Merchant. That was his testimony.
Sure.
Judge, I'm
Maybe
allowed.
the conclusion we reach. I think she's going to ask more than one question, though. All right, Ms. Merchant.
And if Judge, just so we can be clear, if he said more than one version, that's all relevant. We're allowed to talk about the different versions that he's told.
All right, I've overruled the
Thank
objection,
you.
Ms. Merchant.
Do you remember telling me that it didn't surprise you that they took the trips that I found in the divorce file because they took many trips to Florida, Texas, California? And then you told me that they took the trip to California when she moved her daughter there because she failed out of FAMU. You remember that?
I don't recall that, but if I don't recall.
Okay. Judge, may I approach? It's
Sure. You may.
it's in one of the ones I gave you. Look at that. Let me know if it refreshes your memory.
So yeah,
Just first
That
let me
man
know
is
if that refreshes your memory.
confused.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it's true that you told me that they took many trips to Florida, correct?
Per that, yes, but one of the messages is cut off,
Okay.
and you asked about some other trips, and I said, no, I didn't, I think. And that was specific to, at the
That's
top of that, it
crazy.
says, no, I didn't.
Yes.
And so that was to the trips that you asked me about. And I think before that, when you mentioned that you found all these trips, I
Brooklyn, where did you get this document from?
think I said, oh, wow.
Yes, you did.
Oh, wow.
You did not know about all the
That
trips that
makes
were
it
taken. You
wow.
qualified it. You said, no, it didn't. When did it happen? And then the next text, which I can get, or you can look at your phone or whatever refreshes your memory, you said was after you left, after the firm was dissolved,
I'm
correct?
gonna object to relevance.
Overruled.
It was after the firm, the trips that you said, no, you didn't know about. You told me those were after your firm had dissolved, correct?
I think you mentioned that they were after I left, maybe, or whenever you found them. And I said, no, I didn't know about those trips. So
So you believe I mentioned that it was after you left?
I'm quite sure you have the text message, and I will.
This whole thing is messy because I'm looking at this document that hold on, I'm just gonna share the document. One moment. Stop, present. I think it's this document. Yep, this pleading. So we go here. This was Defendant's response to emergency motion by non-party deponent for protective order. Okay. So, who's this? What's her name? Jocelyn Wade wanted to depose Fani Willis. The whole thing is a mess, baby. I don't know. It's the ATL. So, what's this? Okay, so plaintiff was appointed as a special prosecutor by Willis on November 1, 2021. Plaintiff filed for divorce on November 2. I did not know those dates. Hold on. Wait. I'm trying not to be a conspiracy theorist here, but those dates are significant. So Nathan Wade was appointed as a special prosecutor on November 1st, 2021. So once he secures that deal, he then filed for divorce the following day. So that leads me to believe, I guess he may have had plans to actually, become permanent with Fani or something along those lines. And then defendant was served by a process server on November 3rd. They were not playing. Before defendant ever filed her answer and counterclaim, plaintiff filed a motion asking the court to seal the record in this divorce action. That is complete. That is insane. Yeah. Because I guess my timeline was off. I thought that Nathan first filed for divorce, and after he filed for divorce, while the proceedings were pending, this is when he, began to bumping uglies and coochies and reproductive organs with Fani Willis. But to me, this kind of seems as if the appointment or his relationship with Fani Willis may have, accelerated him filing the divorce. I don't know if he was going to divorce at all, but now I need to look up Jocelyn. Okay, so plaintiff did not reveal to defendant his appointment. What? I'm so sorry. Wait, I'm saying alleged because I got this from Brooklyn, and I probably should have double checked to see if this is some accurate information. But this is, ooh, baby. And then Real Thing says, have you ever seen Jocelyn's divorce attorney's interview on YouTube? No, I guess we have to look. Guess we have to look into it because wait, what? So Nathan did not reveal to Jocelyn his appointment by Miss Willis or the substantial income he has been receiving through this divorce case as a result of that appointment. And defendant did not discover the same until much later in the proceedings. Wow. He should have had a prenup in advance. I don't know why people don't get prenups. Here's the thing. Okay, Brooklyn, what are you saying? Here's the thing. Like, I know a lot of folks are old school, and a lot of folks, they don't really want prenups because what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. But we live in different times, okay? We live in times where Brooklyn says he will not get married to a woman that makes more money than him, okay? So times are different. It kind of seems, I don't know, what did Jocelyn do for a living? I think I asked this last night. I should have actually looked this up if it's available, but now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole, chasing these people's personal lives. This is crazy. He should have had a prenup. So plaintiff also left defendant with low means of financial support. Okay, so she probably does not make much money, while simultaneously spending tens of thousands of dollars per month on a very lavish lifestyle. That's crazy. Don't you have kids, sir? So plaintiff willfully failed to comply with his discovery obligations in the very divorce case that he initiated, which led to the court holding him in contempt of this court's order on defendant's motion to compel discovery. That is insane. This is insane. So on December 22nd, 2023, plaintiff only produced a portion, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to get into that. Since plaintiff filed for divorce, he has taken trips to San Francisco and Napa Valley to Florida and even gone on Caribbean cruises, enjoyed a trip to Belize, another to the country of Panama, and even just last month took a trip to Australia. Wow. Wow. Okay, so the evidence is clear that Miss Willis was an intended travel partner for at least some of these trips, as indicated by flights he purchased for her to accompany him. So they said true. They said true and accurate copies of credit card statements showing purchase of plane tickets for plaintiff and Miss Willis are attached as composite exhibit A, baby. That actually used to be a show in the 80s. When I was a teenager, I used to watch that. I don't remember the host, but that was a show I used to watch back in the day. Okay, so argument, blah blah blah. So defendant seeks to depose Miss Willis in order to determine details surrounding her romantic affair with the plaintiff, as there appears to be no reasonable explanation for their travels apart from a romantic relationship. Ms. Willis contends in error that given the parties both citing in their divorce pleadings the no fault provision of irretrievably broken with no reasonable hope of reconciliation, the defendant's inquiry into plaintiff's infidelity is impermissible. I don't know. This is too much for me, you guys. You guys know I like gossip, but even this is a little too much for me. Hold on. Let's pause right here. Let us pause right here. Let's get back to Bradley and his memory issues, and then we'll get back in. We'll get back in there. I'm gonna look at what is this? What are they called? The credit card statements.
Refresh my memory.
Is it easier for you to refresh your memory with your own phone or with my printouts of screenshots?
Well, you have the printout, so.
I know, but Judge, the reason I'm asking is because I'm getting objections that I've cut things off, and it's just the nature of how you have to print out screenshots. So in order to avoid that, I'm happy for him to refresh his memory with his own phone, if that would be.
Well, I don't know if he's accepting your offer or not, so.
Would that be easier for you?
You can just provide the documents.
Okay. Let's see.
I have some order, Judge, please.
Yeah, let me see what we can do.
Sorry, Judge, I'm just trying to pull out all of the messages that you may need.
All right. Well, I don't really see
Okay, what?
at some point we're reaching the cumulative point
Yeah.
where we don't need to go through an entire.
All right, let's pause right here. I want to look up Nathan Wade's testimony. There's a part where he was being questioned about interrogatories that he may have answered inaccurately. So let's see. Now we have to find it.
Former or current employee of the DA's office?
I don't have a
Okay.
timestamp, so I'm just gonna skip. I'm gonna skip through. You know.
I heard her trying.
Why does that need to be in camera?
No. Why?
wanted to do it.
Hold on.
I'd just like the opportunity to clear that up.
All right, there we go.
And
And the best way of testimony. Ms. Merchant, you can call your next witness.
thank you. We call Mr. Wade.
Judge, may I be excused as well, please?
All right, take care, Mr. Partridge.
We call Mr. Wade.
All right. As it.
I wear your shirts. My kids wear your
Oh,
shirts.
Ms.
Your relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
It is number
His microphone's on.
24, 25, 26. Oh,
Okay, so Real Thing says Jocelyn. Oh, so she was unemployed. Okay, she was a stay-at-home mom, homemaker throughout the marriage, raising their two daughters. That's typically how it goes, though. Typically, what I've seen is attorneys, male attorneys, if they make a decent amount of money, their wives do tend to be, homemakers. But oh no, you need to be stashing money away. So, and then Brooklyn says his ex was mostly probably feeding all the info to Ashley. I don't know. What is it? I think this is the part. I think these are the interrogatories.
Yes, ma'am. Great. I have the number interrogatory. Are you?
Okay, there we go.
Well, we'll just.
that representation.
All right, any objection from the state 2, 3, and 4?
It's 2, 3, and 4, yes.
All right, any objection from the state?
The divorce.
I have no objection to 3 and 4, and subject to Ms. Merchant's representation that 2 is a filing of divorce. I just don't, the divorce complaint, I don't have that in front of me, but subject to that representation, no objection.
To me, that's mind blowing that I guess her, I guess her parts were good. Because typically, right, it's not uncommon for a married man to engage. Let me not say uncommon. There are moments when a married man has engaged in extramarital affairs. And usually under those circumstances, they never usually leave their wives, right? They'll tell the side piece that no, this, that, tell them sweet nothings, but usually they do tend to maintain their marriages. But to me here, the dates are a bit, I don't know. So he is appointed as special counsel on the 1st, and then on the 2nd, he files for divorce. That's interesting.
All right, and by show of hands, any objection from other defense counsel? Seeing none, defendants 2, 3, and 4. This should be Romans. Well, we'll just call them 2, 3, and 4 admitted without objection.
So that interrogatory that you filed in 2023, that's one where you said no, that you didn't have any documents.
Then I don't know if for the folks that do not know, interrogatories are questions that parties answer under oath. Okay. Usually it's part of the discovery process, which is basically the exchange of information and trying to discover information. They are a good tool for, if you're fishing for information, but also as you go to trial, obviously they actually had divorce, an actual trial in the divorce case, which I don't think they had. Then that's something that, you can lock a party into their answers.
Relating to the purchase of gifts that you had a romantic relationship with someone, right?
Which interrogatory are we talking
Number
about?
4, 2023.
Which number in the interrogatory?
Number 4.
So
Why should
which
look like
number interrogatory are you referring to?
It's defendant's exhibit number 4.
I have defendant's exhibit 4 here. Which number interrogatory are we referring to?
Oh, which number out of the question?
Yes.
Yes, no.
I loved how she was answering with such confidence.
20, 24, 25, 26. All of them.
Dang. So now I'm trying to figure out, where did Jocelyn get her information from? Was it from what's his name again? Terrence Bradley? Where did she get her information from? Because it sounds like she may have been blindsided by, this affair. Okay, so Real Thing says that, in my opinion, Nathan did not leave his wife Fani. There's more to the whole story. The recent dates are only one part of it. What do you mean by recent? Why do you think he left? Well, I know we're speculating here, but those dates are a little off to me. Why would he leave? I don't know. I'm just gossiping. I'm really just gossiping at this point.
Oh,
I appreciated Nathan's composure, though. He did pretty good for somebody that's, under fire, that's in the hot seat.
it's supposed to be number.
Okay, so Becky says, hello, SO in chat. Interrogatories and requests for production of documents are prevalent in civil cases. It's like taking the other party to court without doing so, almost like paper deposition. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I have drafted a number of this because I'm an attorney. So, yeah.
I guess they're all numbered 1. So number one again, and then the third.
And then usually interrogatories come before deposition. It's the whole fact, it's part of the discovery process. But typically, unless some people do it differently, I always go interrogatories and then deposition.
Number 1. He didn't put page numbers on.
All right, answer or ask the question. We need to.
I don't know how to tell you what number 1, because when you responded, you put number 1 on all of them.
You
So
just point to it.
this one.
And then Becky says their depositions are the money makers.
2 number 1s that are attached,
Okay,
and there's no page number, but it is the second page.
all right.
They're asking if you
Becky, are you an attorney? You don't have to answer, but I'm curious.
have any receipts for restaurants, hotels, bars, things like that.
All right.
The first number 1,
I believe it's the second number 1.
the second number
What
1.
on earth? Answer the question. I don't know. Ask the question and answer the question.
Okay,
So it asks you if you have any receipts for things like restaurants, bars, hotels, things like that, where you accompanied a member of the other sex romantic partner.
Sheesh.
Correct?
it says identify any and all occasions.
Okay. And so
All right. Well, thanks for joining.
it says to identify any and all occasions where you entertained a member of the other sex, okay, who's not related to blood.
Mhm.
Can I
And
take it that you were a paralegal for a civil attorney? Is that right to say?
including dining, drinking, restaurants, bars, pubs, hotels, all of that. Okay. And what was your answer to that?
No. Oh. Come on.
None.
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 Okay. So May 30th, 2023,
Sheesh.
you prepared this document,
I did.
submitted it,
I
How
did.
do you talk
and it
your way
says
out of it?
none as far as entertaining a member of the opposite sex.
It does.
Okay. No
Okay.
hotels, no bars, no restaurants.
Correct.
Okay.
You
So bars, hotels, restaurants. That's kind of narrow. Yeah, that is kind of narrow. I can see how somebody could wiggle their way out of that.
and updated that. Let's see, you updated it on December 22nd, 2023.
Amended.
And I'm gonna
not
mark that as
updated.
defendants number 5, and I have copies. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you updated it once again on January 26th, 2024, correct?
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
24.
Okay, that one.
What was the
May I
amendment?
approach the witness again, Judge?
Is that what you're marking as Defense Exhibit 6?
Yes, Judge. I'm marking number 6 is the January 26th, 2024.
Okay, so Becky says that she was a para-lawyer. She was a para-lawyer, mostly did probate, workers' comp, and tons of real estate, very little criminal. Okay, I do workers' compensation right now, workers' compensation and personal injury. Prior to that, I did criminal law.
Interrogatory, and then that one. And then number 5 is the December 22nd, 2023 interrogatory.
And Becky, which of those areas of the law do you actually enjoy the most?
Response.
All right, are you tendering those at this time?
Yes, I know.
All right. Any objection from any counsel to Defense Exhibit 5 and 6?
Yes, no, Judge.
And is it safe to say that for workers' comp, it's plaintiff side?
Thank you, Ms. Cross. Seeing none others.
Luckily, I have one before you go.
So now that you have those, let's just talk about those for a minute. Those were verified, so sworn under oath.
Mhm.
Okay. And one of them was December 22nd, and then of this last year, so last December, and then one was just recently submitted in January, right?
Mhm.
Okay. In May 10th, 2023, Judge Thompson heard a motion to compel in your divorce case as well, correct?
Yes.
And you were actually held in willful
Yeah,
contempt.
I'm gonna object to the relevance of.
Ms. Merchant.
His credibility is relevant, Judge, and if he was held in willful contempt for failing to provide answers
Sheesh.
and documents, I think that's relevant to this court.
How is that a prior false act or crime of conviction or anything else allowed for impeachment under the rules of evidence?
I'm not offering it as a prior bad act or something like that. I'm offering it towards his credibility, Judge, which you get to determine. If he's made misrepresentations in these pleadings, you're here to determine whether or not he's telling the truth or not. So if another court has held him in contempt and that's part of the divorce proceeding, I think it's relevant.
But just contempt generally can be for many different things. Like a failure to produce is not necessarily a false act, right?
Right, and he's welcome to explain that.
He may not have to. Ms. Cross.
I object to the relevance of that. That's clearly not a proper impeachment. We're going pretty far
Yeah.
into divorce matters that don't have any direct relevance to
Right.
anything that's pending before the court. Object to the relevance of that and we further.
All right. I'm not saying that being a proper grounds for impeachment. It's sustained.
Let's talk about this December 22nd, 2020.
I don't know. Ashley Merchant, I don't know. Trial skills. I'm still giving her a 0 on this one. That's
23 verification. I
I
tabbed
don't
it
know. Is it like an F minus? Maybe I'll give her an F plus. An F plus because I'm feeling generous.
for you. Again, they asked you if you had any documentations showing proof of this relationship, proof of any relationship, correct?
I'm going to object to the phrasing of that question. I don't believe that's an accurate read of the interrogatory.
All right. Let's be precise, Ms. Merchant.
And you please read it. I want to make sure I'm accurate. Please read it.
Which number?
This one actually has a number. I tabbed it for you, so you should be able to open right to the page. It's number 22. The question specifically is if you have any tangible evidence of any nature in your possession or control or any other person or entity which relates to any manner of your activities to any person with whom you've had a sexual relationship during your marriage. Tangible evidence.
Bumping
Notes, cards,
coochies.
letters, photos, films, recordings, documents, tapes, video recordings, receipts, invoices, and other tangible evidence.
Yes.
And you answered that you did not have any documents to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And that was on December 22nd, 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
You updated those responses again after the motion to disqualify was filed, though, correct?
When was the motion filed?
January 8th, 2024, when I filed the motion to disqualify you and alleged that you had a romantic relationship with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you updated these responses, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so your new responses, you now
Okay.
changed your answer from that you didn't have any of this to
Okay.
you're asserting the privilege under 24.5.505, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And both of these are under oath.
Yes, ma'am.
You also updated your response to the question about spending time with someone other than your spouse for dinner, drinks, things at restaurants, bars, hotels, or the other person's home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So in
Okay.
December of 2023, you said no to all that. And then in January, after I filed my motion, you said privilege to all that, Fifth Amendment privilege.
Yes, ma'am.
And just to be clear, was it?
Sorry, I'm going to object to characterization of Fifth Amendment privilege. I think it was a statutory privilege and that's
That's why I
quite
was-
different.
That's what I was just about to ask him. So that privilege covers infamy or Fifth Amendment privilege, correct?
So it was a privacy privilege is what I updated my response to do. Once you filed your motion to
Okay.
intervene in my divorce action, I
This is
then
insane.
figured that you were in talks with my former wife's divorce lawyer.
Okay.
And because of that, I
Okay, so Becky says that probate is different from state to state. Okay, and then I think it cut off. Yeah, I have very limited experience with probate matters. It's probably not something I'm gonna get into.
asserted a privacy privilege because I didn't want the proceedings of my divorce to bleed over into the proceedings in this case, which is the case that obviously you're
I
involved in.
thought about that
So
before you
your answers
filed.
in December of 2023 that you didn't have any documents about any travel that you took with Miss Willis. That wasn't true though, correct?
They didn't ask me about any documents regarding Miss Willis.
A romantic partner. They asked you for documents regarding a romantic partner. So I'm sorry,
Not a
I
romantic
inserted Miss
partner. They were
Willis's
just
name.
bumping
Let me
coochies.
rephrase the question. they asked you for documents about travel with a romantic partner in December 2023. And you under oath said you did not have any of those, correct?
I did not.
Okay.
And they asked me about gifts.
Right.
I never purchased a gift for Miss Willis.
And they asked you about receipts for dinner, receipts for drinks,
All right.
hotels,
So
bars, and restaurants.
now it all makes sense. Now it all makes sense because who's this? Fani on the stand claimed or said that what's his name? Nathan. His opinion, I guess his opinion on women only being able to make a sandwich for him, that would make sense considering that his wife was a homemaker. I guess that's all that's all she could do for him, right? Apart from bear his kids, raise the children, keep the house together, and I guess she was making sandwiches too. Okay, so Becky says, I was going to say here in Connecticut, judges are elected farmers and stuff. It's wild. My ex-uncle, how's your ex-uncle? So Becky says, my ex-uncle, a farmer, was one till he retired. Really weird. There are certain states where judges actually do not need real, they don't need real, what is this? Experience, I suppose. They don't even have to go to law school. So okay. And then Becky says there's no way his ex-wife's lawyer was feeding Ashley info. Now his ex-wife doing so, I can clearly see. What I've seen from Fulton County, especially as far as the attorneys are concerned, I'm not gonna put it past anybody. Yeah. But obviously it was, what's his name again? Terrence Bradley was Nathan Wade's attorney, and he's the one that was feeding Ashley Merchant. Nathan's attorney was feeding information to Merchant, another attorney. So, okay. And then Becky says, I don't want the garbage man settling settling my family's estate. Well, that's how it is. So that's how it is in some states. Yeah.
And you said you did not have any of
I mean, but in states where I've seen that, I don't know that I've seen farmers. Because I mean, I've lived, most places I've lived have been pretty country. I've seen mostly sheriff officers. I'm trying to think back. That was a sheriff officer. Yeah, that was a sheriff. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen a farmer. Maybe I've not seen a farmer yet. I've seen sheriffs that live on farms. Maybe they are, maybe they are farmers. But this is during my time as a public defender. So you could tell things were not going my way. things were not going my way because the judge, well, a part-time judge, because they're judges sometimes, and other times, they're out there arresting folks and pulling people over and stuff. So yeah, that fun times.
those.
I did not and do not have any receipts for any of those things.
Okay. And part of the civil discovery, they say that even if you don't have it in your pocket, if it's within your purview, you got to get it and give it to them, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object again to the relevance of the questions about the scope of civil discovery. I think she's asked him about statements he made in pleadings. The answers are already in the record. And
all right, to the extent you're trying to establish a prior mistruth, Ms. Merchant, I'll allow you to ask a few more follow-ups, but if it's not there, we have to move on.
Thank you. So in 2023, December, you said you didn't have any receipts.
I do not have any receipts. I did not have any receipts.
Okay.
But you did travel with Miss Willis in 2023, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2022, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2021, correct?
No.
So you only traveled with her
Wait.
in 2022 and 2023.
Let's go back to timeline. I need to, I'm nosy. I need the actual dates or the year.
In December, you said you didn't have any receipts.
I do not have any receipts. I did not have any receipts.
Okay.
But you did travel with Miss Willis in 2023, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2022, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2021, correct?
No.
22,
So
21,
you only traveled with her in 2022 and 2023.
22, 23.
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
That's what you recall?
Okay, so the traveling began after he was appointed as special counsel. Okay. All right.
Okay. So you just don't remember?
Right. So Terrence was supposed to say that, this relationship began prior to his appointment.
If you traveled with her in 2021?
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
Is what you recall. My question is, did you travel with her in 2021?
I'm not recalling any travel in 2021.
Okay, let's see what Becky's saying here. So Becky says that he's a willing participant, this old boy, but I can't help but feel watching him here like he was snared in Fanny's web. Sorry, reminder for self. Fanny's web. I'm sure she cast that far and wide when you're within her. I don't know. Listen. I'm not gonna say what I want to. I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Okay, let's move on. I was gonna say something here.
It's not yes or no. You just don't remember.
I'm not recalling any travel in 2021.
So you did not travel with her in 2021.
Your Honor.
Okay, this has been covered. Let's keep going.
Thank you. Let's see. You filed an affidavit in this case, correct?
I did.
Okay, and I marked that already. And you can see, as number one. And that's number one. May I approach?
Becky, please do not encourage me because I get out of control here. So I'm trying, yeah, don't encourage me.
Yeah.
In that affidavit, you swore under oath, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in that affidavit, you swore that, well, first of all, do you recognize the affidavit?
I do.
Okay. Did you sign the affidavit under oath?
I did.
And you gave this affidavit specifically to refute the allegations that I had raised?
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody forced you to sign this?
All right, folks. So we will go until 11 p.m. and then, we'll carry on with this saga tomorrow. So 11 p.m. The only reason I have to do that is because my kid has to go to the dentist in the morning. I don't know why I picked such an early appointment, though. Like, yeah, I don't understand why I picked an early appointment, but I did, so I have to take her. They need to seal her teeth.
No, ma'am.
You chose to sign it?
Yeah, I spent a lot of money on that teeth because she had, I know I'm always giving too much information, but she had oral surgery maybe 2 or 3 years back. So they sealed her teeth so she wouldn't have cavities. And now it's time to redo the procedure. So we have to keep it up.
I did.
And you signed it on purpose to admit into court to refute allegations?
I did.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. So I have to, I'm going to have to keep it. I don't want to. I could have done I could have picked a better date though. I don't know why. I mean, it was the first available. So that makes sense.
You signed it specifically to prove that you were not in a relationship with Willis prior to November 2021, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you were a lawyer when you signed it?
I was.
And you're still a lawyer
Of course
today?
he was.
I am.
When were you barred?
What?
1999.
Okay. And
How many years?
you believe that your relationship with Miss Willis is subject to attorney-client privilege, correct?
I'm going to object to that, Your Honor. I don't think that's factually correct. I don't think that's a relevant question, and I don't.
Okay, so Becky is parenting too. We call her parenting over here. So Becky said my youngest is 20. She's still the baby. She's the only one left at home. You're an almost what is this, empty nester. That's
It's
great.
appropriate to question this witness about the scope of his attorney-client privilege.
Yeah, I have a long way to go. I'm in the infancy of parenting, so I have a long way to go.
He's got an attorney who can speak for him for that, but questioning the witness, I think, is inappropriate.
All right, so a lot to unpack there. The question is simply that does he believe there's a relationship that exists in the terms of attorney-client privilege between him and Miss Willis? Is that accurate,
Yes,
Ms.
Judge.
Merchant?
It was. I asked if he believed his relationship with Miss Willis is subject to attorney-client privilege.
Okay, I don't see why a yes or no would be barred.
Maybe I'm not understanding the question. If the question is, does Mr. Wade and District Attorney Willis have an attorney-client relationship?
It is not.
There's no foundation for that. If the question to the witness is, does his relationship with District Attorney Willis impact his attorney-client relationship with his divorce attorneys. That I don't.
Right, they're getting into, let's get into some gossip here. So let's get into the gossip. What happened to the document? What happened to Brooklyn's document? Oh, here. All right. Let's share the screen. Let us share the screen. And Becky says, ooh. Let's see. Okay, so Becky says almost, and she reminds me all the time, what are you gonna do? And Becky says, Lord have mercy, child. Can we really talk about it? Less cleaning up. Is it? I guess. I don't know. My kid's still pretty young. I'm probably gonna have a bunch of little ones here in a little bit. I'm not even gonna listen. My mind is always in the gutter. So let me move on from that. Let me move on from that. But okay, am I sharing? I am sharing. I'm sharing. All right. What I'm trying to find is, let's see. We want to get to the receipts. No, what is it? Bank statements. Okay, so although defendant was unaware of a romantic relationship between Ms. Willis and her husband when filing her counterclaim, the Court of Appeals in Georgia, I mean, they talk about some divorce stuff over there. We're not. So that's interesting. She apparently she did not know about the relationship, or did she suspect, or she really just did not know? I don't know. Okay. And then she says that contrary to Ms. Willis' belief, the defendant is not utilizing the deposition to harass her, but rather to seek pertinent information from her husband's paramour relationship. No. Regarding her relationship with plaintiff and the extent of the plaintiff's financial involvement in the same. These answers are relevant to the equitable division of the marital estate, dissipation of marital assets, and the plaintiff's capacity to provide spousal support. All right. So, okay, apparently Willis did that. Argument that the subpoena service was defective. We're not going to get into that. Maybe there's something interesting here. All right. Let's see. Talking about service, motion, personal information. Okay, this might be interesting. I don't know. In her motion, Ms. Willis has presented extensive personal information regarding the Wade's marriage, okay, including false allegations of the defendant engaging in an affair in 2017. Ooh, salacious, baby. Wait, what? Now, Brooklyn, if you're still here, you need to go find. Listen, go find. You need to go find a Willis. What is this? You need to go find her motion. Find her motion, send it here, because I need to know about this 2017 alleged affair. However, the evidence will demonstrate that Miss Wade did not have an affair. What was she doing? Was she just dining? Or what was going on? Defendant was experiencing a profound sense of disconnection in her marriage to the plaintiff, who had essentially ceased investing in their relationship following plaintiff's own actual infidelity. Who was he? So around 2017, was this with Fani or somebody else? Feeling lonely and isolated. We've heard that word many times. At least we've heard it from Fani. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So feeling lonely and isolated following plaintiff's prior infidelity, defendant regrettably reconnected with an old friend through social media and text messages, where the sole extent of their contact. Ooh, baby. Listen. I am so nosy. There is no way I can be anybody's defense. What is this? Anybody's divorce attorney? I would probably be like Terrence Bradley, airing people's information out. I'm lying. I'm not that type of person. But yeah, this is there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. It's a lot to unpack. So with an old friend through social media. All right. So plaintiff and defendant successfully worked through this issue, as evidenced by the fact that it was not until 4 years later that plaintiff filed for divorce. So obviously Fani got that information from, let me not say obviously, but I'd like to assume that she got that information from Nathan Wade. I don't know. They may have been pillow talking, and Fani's like, oh, how is the Mrs. Wade going to feel about this? And Nathan's like, no, she cheated too. So, okay. Okay, so it's crucial to emphasize the defendant never met in person with the individual she sexted. I'm lying. I'm joking. They didn't say sex. That's me making it up. So they texted with during that period, had no physical contact with him, and certainly did not engage in any travel with him. That stuff is a mess. How old are these people's kids? Because, oof, I don't know. Stuff's a mess. Kids are reading this stuff all over the internet. Yeah, messy, messy, messy. All right, defendant's counsel intends to, among other things, examine Ms. Willis, blah, 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 blah. All right, marriage contained motion essentially raises the question of whether possesses equal intimate knowledge of any marital discord involving any other office. Wait, I need to read that from the beginning. Wait. So allegations regarding the parties' marriage contained in Ms. Willis' motion essentially raises the question of whether Ms. Willis possesses equal intimate knowledge of any marital discord involving any other of her special prosecutors. A public inquiry of why the one seems to be met with a response that suggests because you, Ms. Willis, are having an affair with him and not them. Wow. So why is she bumping and grinding with Nathan Wade and no other special prosecutor? Oof. Okay. There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. Oof. Oof. Okay. So, ooh. Wait. Hold on. I need to pause a little. I need to pause a little bit. This is too much. This is too much. Let me read these comments. Let's see. Okay, Brooklyn lurking in here. Brooklyn's in the bushes. So that's how she got the information from this lawyer. Okay, Becky and Brooklyn, do you guys know each other? What's going on here? Okay. Ooh. Okay, so Becky says, so Mrs. Wade was the OG stepper. That's ooh. Listen, this is too much even for me. Like I like a good gossip. Yeah, I guess I'm glad I do not do divorce proceedings because this is just too much. This is too much. This is too much. Real thing says, I told you there's more to the story. The breakup did not start with Fani. You're right. You're right. And here I thought that Miss Jocelyn Wade was just at home making sandwiches and putting the kids to bed. But baby, after she made the sandwiches and put the kids to bed, she was on social media, okay? She was on social media. And then Real Thing says Nathan briefly testified about this as well. Real Thing, this thing was a long time ago because this was usually I have good memory, but I was also recovering from COVID. I had COVID twice, you guys. It was awful. And both times I actually lost my memory for a good like 8 months to a year. So there are some things that I don't quite remember. So during that time, though, I was recovering from COVID. And then, okay, so Becky says Brooklyn does divorce. Too messy. Too messy mess for me. Me either. I don't mind being a therapist. It's the only job I've had, but mixing both is too much. Yeah, divorce. I don't know. Okay, so the children are grown and in college. Okay, so I guess when you're that grown, you probably don't pay attention to what your parents are doing. So, okay, and Brooklyn says divorce in Jewish courts, which is upheld in family court. We tried to mediate. Okay. Okay, so so you guys know each other from the YouTube the YouTube hallways. Great. Okay. And then Becky says, which I love. Save it. I mean, I need my glasses. Oh, I need to put it on the screen. That's why I cannot see. Okay, so Becky says, even though I'm divorced, I'm not a believer. Me too. Never get divorced unless there's abuse. I don't know about that, Brooklyn. I think I think if folks, sometimes people get married young or whatever, and if there's nothing there, there's nothing there. And listen, the average American, the average American has been married at least twice. Okay, in the case of the Honorable Judge Judy, okay, she's been married 3 times, twice to the same man. So yeah. Let's see what's real thing. Oh, what's real thing saying? Oh wow, I'm glad you recovered from that. And then Becky, oh no, I don't blame Fani for their break up or down. Apparently, she is just evil. That doesn't know how to keep her hands off temptation. I need you to elaborate on that, Becky. Elaborate on that. Let's quickly go back to Nathan Wade. How are we doing on time? We have about 10 minutes. Let's quickly get back into Nathan Wade. We'll get back in here for, I don't know, a good 2-3 minutes, and then we need to go find those receipts.
I think is an appropriate question for that witness. First, the first, I believe, is a proper phrasing. The second, I think there's been a representation that Mr. Wade preserves and doesn't waive anything. And so I think asking him particular questions in order to potentially backdoor a waiver is inappropriate, and that's my judgment.
All right, if we're just trying to, again, assess where a privilege does or does not exist, and we're not actually getting into it, I think we can establish those, parameters. But Ms. Merchant, can you rephrase the question based on that concern, and we'll see where we are?
Yes. Do you believe that your relationship with Miss Willis is subject to an attorney-client privilege? Not if you and Miss Willis have one, but do you believe that relationship is subject to one?
I'm going to object to that question as it's phrased. In what context? Any conversation with his attorneys is privileged. That I think is clear. What's not clear to me from that question is Ms. Merchant asking in the context of your communication with your attorneys? Is that or outside that context? Is it?
Right. And Ms. Merchant, I think we need to figure out what are we getting at with this?
I'm just trying to figure out if he thought that their relationship is subject to an attorney-client privilege. I mean,
hold on, we're not doing that. You guys are killing my mojo. They're killing my mojo. So let's go back. Let's go back to, let's go back to that. And then real thing, I'm gonna put the link up here if anybody wants to have closing arguments, because we're gonna close out in a little bit. Like as I said, my kid has to get her teeth sealed. I should have picked a later appointment though, because I'm not a morning person. Let's see. Okay, so Becky says, Brooklyn, some folks are toxic together. I'm not saying it can be fixed, but it takes two. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay. And Ellie says, shout out to SO and everyone here. Big shout out to Ellie and Junior Co-Counsel. All right. And then she says, shout out to Mr. Abate for using the she takes issue with Abate every single time. And Brooklyn says, if couples divorce and both can co-parent, that's nice. But in most cases, the parents are toxic and use the kids. But here's my thing, Brooklyn. If the parents are toxic, that is not a conducive environment for kids to grow up in. So if they're toxic together, it's probably best if they're toxic apart. That's just my 2 cents. And then Becky says, okay, bring the whole RICO against 28 people and selling the Thomas Drinks families down a river of lies. Okay. All right. Let's see. Men, do you guys all know each other? Like, what's going on? I mean, I love it, but what's going on? Anyways, real thing, I posted, what's that? I posted the link if you'd like to come up here and give your closing. But let's quickly go into this mess here. I might extend it, maybe 50 more minutes, because how many pages do we have? Let's see. Okay. So it is regrettable that Ms. Willis has filed such inflammatory motion, blah, blah. We need to find the motion. Okay, so apparently the defendant's sole objective is to lead a peaceful life. Now, counsel is committed to ensuring she has adequate means to support herself and defend herself in this litigation. I wonder, like, how much, I guess, if he's been licensed since 1999, hopefully he's made, they have the cert. Hopefully he's made Scott Kimbrough. That's interesting. Hold on, I'm going to look this person up. Scott Kimbrough. That's interesting. The only reason it's interesting because I know a Kimbrough, but a woman. Yeah, I know a woman. I know she's out of Georgia. She's out of Atlanta, Georgia. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? I think she was on Ladies Who List. I watch trash TV. Crystal Kimbrough. I don't think they're kin though. I don't think they're related. I don't think they're related. What's up, real thing?
Nothing much.
Okay, okay. So I just wanted you up here for wanted you up here because we're gonna get into closings in a little bit, but let's get to the receipts back here. Let's get into the receipts. Okay, so transactions. Ooh. All right. This is really what I like about civil work. The pictures and all these extra exhibits that you otherwise would not, like criminal cases, you have autopsies and stuff. So over here we're in other people's. Ooh, this means that he withdrew 20,000, right? At an ATM. Do ATMs? No, no, no. It says online something. I don't know. Payment something, something. Somebody got 20 grand. Okay, so he renewed his license, the State Bar of Georgia, 289. Is that cheap? That's actually kind of cheap. That's affordable in comparison to what? Yeah, that's affordable. Okay, so Delta, okay? Delta, we see Nathan. Ooh! Willis, we have Willis over here too. All right, all right, all right. Are they sitting next to each other? Do they have a seat? All right, 817. He paid that. Does this mean they're a flying coach? Is this what it means? I think so. I think they're a flying coach. There's nothing wrong with that. I fly coach all the time. All right, they were in Baton Rouge. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. What else does he have on here? Ooh, he bought flowers for 2 people. So I bet he bought flowers for his wife and the Fani Willis baby. He got them the same thing because it's the same amount. Okay. All right, Mr. Player. I don't know, what is this? Mac for Judge. Oh, so this is looks like a donation. Okay, Uber. 155. Maybe if it's long distance. Yeah, I've taken an Uber with $100 before. Okay. And then they were in Napa Valley, baby. All right, all right. Double tree. Okay. Is that it? I mean his business. Okay, I don't know what transaction this is. Delta. All right. Try help. I don't know what that is. Uber. Target. I love Target. Uber. All right. What are these? Rum Runner? I don't know. Maybe they were trying rum. I don't know. Okay, so they had a rental for 98. Norwegian, Comcast. How much is this cable? Oh, 372. Okay, Uber, Macy's, Kroger. All right, Mr. Wade. All right. 3,500. A cash deposit. 25. Uber. All right, let's go. Ooh, Norwegian cruise, baby. It was what, $3,000. All right. AT&T. I know, is this a bill? That's kind of cheap. My cell phone bill is, I don't know, Verizon needs to do better. Okay, I don't know. These are interests. Let's go. All right, let's see. Audi. There are certain things that Audi 6,000. I don't know. Did he buy a car? I don't know. All right, so here. So Royal Caribbean, October 5th, 138, 128. Why are they different amounts? I don't know. But I'm also in. Okay, here. Who's Bowman? Okay, so 3 people. Do you know, real thing, do you know who Bowman is? Clara Bowman?
I do, but I don't want to say.
Send me an email. I'm gonna look it up right now. All right. Okay, so 3 individuals. What's that?
They told you who went on the cruise with them.
Oh,
Remember?
Granny. That's right. Okay, so Granny was there. That's crazy. Like, what do you even tell your mom? Oh, I'm cheating on my wife, or this is my friend, or she hired me. I don't know.
Just for accuracy of the record, the court.
Yeah.
Court record. No, for real. Okay, so Nathan and his wife had legally separated. They actually had separated back in August of 2021. So they were already separated when Fani was going on these trips with him.
Okay, all right. It's still juicy though.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So Becky said they flew business class. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. But Granny was on the cruise, baby. She was with the honeymooners. Okay, and then they went to Texas. What were they doing in Texas? So it's Wade, Willis. All right, so I guess that is this like luggage or something? I don't know. This is just okay. All right, so service. All right, man. Brooklyn, thank you for taking us down this rabbit hole. Because that was nice. That was really, really nice. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that. Okay. And then closing. What do you have for closing, real thing?
Shout out to the Honorable Appellate Judge Benjamin Land,
Okay.
LAND, for the court reporter, for the record. I'm gonna say that every night. Shout out to
Okay.
the replay viewers, and shout out to Judge Benjamin Land,
Okay.
LAND,
All right. All
dissenting
right. All right.
opinion.
Okay. Yeah, good work. Big shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. So this is what we're watching tomorrow. I already have it pulled up. We're gonna start with, the decision by McAfee, and then we get into the meat and the potatoes. Okay. Let me see. Ellie wants to find her a lawyer that drops money like Nathan Wade. I don't know. I might be somebody old and scrunchy, baby. I don't know about all of that. So Becky says he was spending Mama Fani's money. He was just charging it. I don't know, right? So that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. And then Brooklyn, I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with names. And then Ellie says, shout out to y'all. Aaliyah says, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, fam. Big shout out to Junior Co-Counsel. Okay, shout out to Junior Co-Counsel. Shout out to the replay crew. As always, I'm out here hanging out with Real Thing. Becky, thanks for showing me some love. Brooklyn. Thank you for that mess right there. It was needed. It was needed. It was needed. And then shout out to Ellie. Who else do we have here? Who else do we have here? I think I've covered everybody. If I forgot, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then you know what? There's actually somebody that deserves a shout out tonight. Okay, big shout out to Joe Biden. Okay, the reason why I'm giving Joe Biden a shout out is because he commuted most federal death sentences. You guys know how I feel about death penalty, so this was a fantastic move. The Innocence Project had started a petition. I don't remember. It's been going around for a few months or a few weeks now. I'm glad. I'm glad that he commuted the sentences. These were or the death sentences, 37 or 40. I think he should have gone 40, but it's better than nothing. So big shout out to Joe Biden. And I mean, he did forgive some student loans. My student loans are still my student loans are still standing, but I'm in private practice, so hopefully I get rid of them in the next few years. Oh, big shout out to Old Bag. A shout out to Old Bag. And then let's see. So Becky says sustained overrule. Thank you. Thanks for opening your door and letting us in. Nice to see you. Well, we hope we hope you get to join us again. Let's see. All right. Happy holidays. Brooklyn disagrees. I disagree, so, but I'm not saying nothing. Big shout out to Joe Biden. I'm glad that he commuted those sentences. Again, it's Jerome wants to come up here when we're leaving. Jerome, we love you. I gave you a shout out at the beginning of the live. We hope you're having a fantastic time is it Jacksonville? Or was it Florida? I don't know. Somewhere. But anyways, all right. So we are off, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. And then I think, honestly, tomorrow's a good night to start early. So tomorrow's a good night to start early. I'm thinking around 7, 8. I'll post it up. And then let's see. Allie, is it okay if I call you tomorrow? Or do you want to talk tonight? Hopefully you're still in here. All right. Jerome, we love you. We hope you're having a fantastic time. Thanks for popping in just for a little bit, to show us some love. All right, folks. So tomorrow we're starting I think we need to start at 7, man. Let's start at 7. Let's start at 7 because that way we're looking at least 3 or 4 hours when we can cover all our bases. So yeah, okay, all right, Ali, let me see. I should be back home by I live in the country, you guys. I know I keep saying this. Every time I actually need to go somewhere, like if it's a grocery store, if it's work, that's 5 minutes. If I'm going to my kids' school, that's 10 minutes. But if I actually have to if I'm going to a Walmart, that takes me a while. If I have to go to a doctor, that takes me a while. So yeah, I should be back home by noon. If you do not hear from me by, let's say, 12:30 p.m., please send me an email. But I'm going to tell Alexa to remind me to call you. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks for, hanging out with me, gossiping, getting into some mess. Brooklyn, if you can find Fani's original motion, that would be fantastic. Real thing, it was a pleasure. It was great hanging out with you. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas Eve. Fantastic Christmas Eve to everybody else. And then we'll reconvene here tomorrow, which is tomorrow's Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Let's start. I'm gonna say 7:30 around that time, just so we have oh my goodness, not Becky saying slat. Not Becky saying slat, but okay. All right, folks. Tomorrow we're starting around 7:30. You'll know I'm gonna put it up. I'll have the link ready to go, so you'll actually have notice. All right, love you guys. Real thing, we're off.